What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? It's your boy Julien Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, special education teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness. We're about to take off and class is in session. Anyway, you see the title in the thumbnails. We are talking about stress tonight. And if anybody that knows me knows, I've been going through some stress lately. I'm not going to go into the details. Don't worry. I ain't going to get myself into any kind of trouble. But if you know, you know. So, with that being said, when people hear the word stress sometimes, we hear we think of negative things when we hear the word stress, right? We don't particularly hear the importance of stress in our lives, because believe it or not, some stress is good stress. So I'm going to start off with stress as a child versus stress as an adult. So one of the things that I try to explain to some parents, because I personally didn't really see it that way when I was younger but still an adult, is that children goes through stress in equal physical reaction as an adult does, right? But one of the things that we do as adults is that we start to diminish the stresses of a child. And why we do that is because we have experienced it before. It's kind of like playing an RPG, role-playing game, for those of y'all who don't know what RPG stands for. When you're playing a role-playing game, you start getting boosts and buffers and attack gains and defense gains and all kinds of crazy stuff in the process. And the characters that you first faced in the beginning of the game will whoop your behind, tear you asunder, hit you 2 times and you're dead, or hit you a good 5 or 6 times and you need to start grabbing the potion, what little potion you have, and then you start having to fight for your life. But then when you get to like level 8, level 9, level 10 of that character, those very same characters that was whooping you earlier, now eventually seems like a joke. You'll even stand there and let them hit you about a couple of times and be like, yeah, you suck. Remember when they were hitting you and you were taking 10 damage and you only had 100 life? And then all of a sudden when you got all these attack boosts, now you have, 1,000 life. And you're still taking 10 damage and you're like, it's still 10 damage, right? Then finally you get that defense boost, and then every time they hit you, it's only 1 damage and you're at 10,000 life, or 99.99, right? And at that point, you're literally standing there. You could go make yourself a sandwich. You could go and as a matter of fact, you can get 3 or 4 of them hitting you at the same time. And you can turn around and go make yourself a sandwich, get yourself something to drink, sit back down with your snacks, and then proceed to one-shot them. That's what stress is like. Because initially, you thought that this stress was stressful. This stress was going to eat you alive. But then after dealing with that stress over and over and over and over again, you tend to know the cheat code. You start finding cheat codes on how to deal with this stress. So what I tell specifically my students is, I understand you got 13-year-old problems. And hopefully, if you practice the skills that I'm trying to teach you, your 13-year-old problems will become a joke when you're 31. Because what you'll end up doing is you'll end up laughing at a 31-year-old trying to attack you with 13-year-old stress. Calling you names, talking bad about you behind your back, lying on you about who you are. It becomes juvenile, so to speak, right? So as you get older, those little itty bitty problems that you were dealing with, those emotional damaging events that you thought you would never live through, literally becomes laughable when you see somebody trying to do it at your current age. If you're 30 whatever, or if you're 47 like I am, you start to realize that this is a joke. This is laughable. It even happens when you're in the military. For my veterans that are out there, if you're watching right now, put a 1 in the chat. And if you can, when you put a 1 in the chat, put a plus afterwards when you hear what I'm about to say. Remember your first day of basic training? Remember how tough things were the night or the day that you got to your unit? Not when you were in MEPS, not when you were in holding, but once you got to your battalion, your company, when you got off that bus, it got real quick, didn't it? And some of us was like, what did I sign up for? Quite a bit of us, actually. What did I just sign up for? But then all the yelling, the screaming, the telling you to beat your face, get up, get down, pick it up, put it back down. Did I tell you to even pick it up? And you're literally confused, even though you heard what you heard. You saw what you saw. And all of a sudden, I don't know when it happens. I can't exactly tell you. I'd probably say about a month in. All of a sudden, what you saw as stress now becomes normal. Ain't nothing normal about getting yelled at and told to beat your face. To get told to beat your face until your arms get tired, or until they get tired, right? Beat your face till when, drill sergeant? Till I get tired. Oh my God, what is this? What do you mean? Right? But then all of a sudden, when you mess up, predictably, when you mess up, you don't even wait to start pushing. You just get down. You don't even get yelled at no more. As a matter of fact, towards the end, you don't even get yelled at. You get one of these. I know, I messed up. I know. I didn't know the rank of Command Sergeant Major. My bad. I forgot. Start pushing. You said something stupid? Start pushing. You weren't where you were supposed to be and you got there finally? You already know before you even run up. You run up. Just start pushing. Don't even wait. Don't even ask. You wait for the recover command. You don't even ask. You don't even get the get down. You don't even get that. You're not even waiting for that. You're just going to get done and start beating your face. You know you messed up. You know you messed up. Take accountability and responsibility for what you did and beat your face. Right? Then you get to your AIT, which is your advanced classes. I forget what AIT stands for right now, but doesn't matter. You get there and you're already in mode. And as a matter of fact, they turn up the temperature a little bit on you. You then turn around and you're going through the motions. You're learning what you need to learn to do your job in the military. And all the while, slowly but surely, they're starting to wean you off of the dependency of the drill sergeant. They're holding you accountable and holding you responsible for what you choose to do with the freedom you get. And if you screw up enough, we take all your freedom away. You're back in the barracks all the time. Not just, when you're supposed to be sleeping, but the minute work is over and after you eat chow, you're back in the barracks. Whereas everybody else gets to float around, do a couple of little things, get back to the barracks, shine their shoes, get their uniforms ready for tomorrow, and go to bed for 09 or 2100, right? So you do all of that, you're getting used to it, you're in the flow, and then all of a sudden it's time for you to go to your duty station. And then when you get to your duty station, it's a whole new level of stress because you don't know what your leaders are going to do. You have no idea who your new leaders are. You knew your drill sergeants, and you knew the personality that they would bring to it sometimes, most of the time. And even them, you don't know which drill sergeant you're going to get. Some drill sergeants were, even though they were all strict, some of them were cool with their strictness. They would hold you accountable, but they do it in the smoothest way ever. They'll just look at you. Are you freaking stupid, private? Drill sergeant, yes, drill sergeant, I'm stupid. You know what stupid people do right now? Beat their face, drill sergeant, until you smell the ground, buddy. Let's go. And all of a sudden you're beat in the face. Just push-ups. And if your arms got tired too quick, lay on your back, flutter kicks. In and outs, all of that. Get smoked. Some will become damn near abusive. Some of them will lock you into the laundry room. This doesn't happen. I don't know if this happens anymore. If anybody want to clue me in, feel free. But this is, 27 years ago? Lock you in the laundry room and smoke you with the dryers on. You coming out dripping sweat. Dripping sweat. Crazy. Some of y'all don't even know how stressful it could be. Right? But you're in your duty station now. You don't know what you're getting. You might get the coolest leaders. You might get a jerk or two, or they all might be jerks. And then your response to them isn't going to be positive, and then all of a sudden your time in the military becomes miserable. Right? However, that's what the nature of stress is. You have eustress, which is positive stress, and you have distress, which is negative stress. And what we're going to talk about today is how stress affects the body. Because like I was saying earlier, I've been going through some stress for the last few weeks. Very stressful, right? I even noticed that in the back of my head, behind my ear, inside of my head, been getting a throbbing sensation. Makes my eye jump every now and then. Then, I noticed that I'm getting aches and pains in places that I normally don't get it. I notice I'm grinding my teeth more. I notice that I'm blunt. There's virtually no niceness to me when you are getting on my nerves. I've noticed it. So for those of us who know me very well, don't think I haven't noticed, because I don't like that version of me either. However, every now and then, good things happen, and I am my chipper normal self, and I am able to definitively um do my job effectively. But we're going to go ahead and share my screen. So what it is, this is I'm on WebMD and the effects of stress on your body. This was done on February 29th of this year. So I'm going to get into it. So before I even get into it, stress on the body, the good stress is when you're working out. When you've put your body through something stressful so that your body can adapt to it and grow. No different than emotional and mental stress. Like I said earlier, 13-year-old stress is no different than 31-year-old stress in the physical response to it. However, your experience and your coping mechanisms for your stress at 13 builds over time. So that way when you're 31, somebody tries you with 13-year-old problems, you're going to laugh them out of the building. You ain't going to play with them with that. You're going to laugh them off and brush them aside. Even insult them and go, what is wrong with you? You're 31. Stop acting like you're 13. Right? So, the human body is designed to experience stress and react to it. It is designed to do it. Stress can be positive, eustress, funny, such as getting a job promotion or even giving greater responsibilities to a certain extent. We'll get it. Keeping us alert and ready to avoid danger. Stress becomes negative distress when a person faces continuous challenges without relief or relaxation between challenges. The person becomes overworked and stress-related tension builds. Distress can lead to physical symptoms such as headaches, upset stomach, elevated blood pressure, chest pain, and problems sleeping. Research suggests that stress also can bring on or worsen certain symptoms or diseases. Like I was saying earlier, your adrenal responses. Your adrenal responses, you might become addicted to adrenaline, or you might ignore adrenaline, despite the fact that it's flowing through your body at a pounding rate, messing with your mind, messing with your body. And I guarantee you there's no chemical in your body that you're supposed to be experiencing at a high level on a consistent basis. Just so you know. None. Not even testosterone, not even estrogen. No, you're not supposed to. Distress can lead to physical symptoms. I already went through that. Stress also becomes harmful when people use alcohol, tobacco, or drugs to try to relieve their stress, because why? You're now using a negative coping mechanism. So for those of y'all out there who have emotional trauma, and for those of y'all who have dealt with emotional things that you think are traumatizing at this point, and you try to cope with it by utilizing things like alcohol, drugs, tobacco, you are setting yourself up for something far worse. And you're going to be even more stressed than you thought you would ever be when you receive the negative consequences of said things like drugs, alcohol, or tobacco. Now, again, when you have a drink, the best thing, if you're drinking, the best thing to do is not drink when you are stressed, because then you'll start to have a chemical dependency on relieving that stress. And guess what a chemical dependency does? It then becomes adaptive. And in that adaptability, you then end up finding yourself drinking more to get the same effect, even though chemically you're loaded, but your brain isn't reacting to it, kind of like if your body was high on adrenaline. Unfortunately, instead of relieving the stress and returning the body to a relaxed state, these substances tend to keep the body in a stressed state and cause more problems. Consider the following. 43% of all adults suffer from adverse health effects from stress. Almost half. 75% to 90% of all doctor visits are for stress-related ailments and complaints. Stress can play a part in problems such as headaches, high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, skin conditions, asthma, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. Occupational Safety and Health Administration declared stress a hazard of the workplace. Stress costs American industry more than $300 billion annually. The lifetime prevalence of an emotional disorder is more than 50%, often due to chronic untreated stress reactions. That's it. So, we need to go into more depth with this. Let's go back. Let's go look at some stress. So let's look this up. So here are some common effects of stress, and I want to read them off to you. On your body is headaches, muscle tension or pain, chest pain, fatigue, change in sex drive, upset stomach, sleep problems. Of all of these on this list right here, I would say I had 4 of them actually. Headache, muscle tension, fatigue, and upset stomach. Effects of stress on your mood, anxiety, restlessness, lack of motivation or focus, memory problems, feeling overwhelmed, grumpiness or anger, sadness or depression. So, on your mood, of these that I'm experiencing or I have been experiencing, anxiety, restlessness, lack of motivation or focus, memory problems, feeling overwhelmed, and grumpiness and or anger. Oh, I have not been happy. Been a grumpy Gil. Okay? On your behavior, overeating or undereating, I am almost certain that my body fat percentage has dropped because I'm not eating enough. Angry outbursts, sarcasm, I'll say sarcasm. Drug or alcohol misuse, never that. Tobacco use, never that. Avoiding friends and staying at home, I ain't got time. I just go home and I go to sleep. Exercising less often. I missed the last 2 days of gym time because I was so stressed. I was so stressed that I fell asleep in my car at Costco getting gas. I got the gas and I was so emotionally and physically drained. I just pulled into the parking lot, laid down until I felt like I had enough strength to drive home. Not kidding. Not making any of this up. Not kidding at all. And like I said, exercise less often. Yesterday was a little bit different. I could have gotten up early and went. But like I said, I was dealing with too much stress. And with the stress that I was dealing with, I'd just rather get in, get it over with, and get out. Okay? But today, since I got a good night's sleep, I went to the gym and I hit up all the body parts that I should have hit up over the last 2 days. And I feel great. I wasn't exhausted. I wasn't overstressed. I felt pretty good. Ran on the treadmill for 5 minutes. Gonna increase it over time, don't worry. Because I'm just so out of practice of running. I just need to get my body back into that level of shape again. All right? On your body, getting sick easier due to a weaker immune system. I didn't read that one. That's not happening to me either. Act to manage stress. So this is the thing. If you have stress symptoms, taking steps to manage your stress can have many health benefits. Check out the possible stress management tips. For example, get regular physical activity on most days of the week. That is good. I do get exercise most days of the week. But there are times where I'm so stressed that my body is not going to respond well to stress or more stress for that matter. It's time for me to relax. It's not going to do me any good to go in the gym and kill myself with work if my body doesn't want to do that work. There's times where, 225 feels like 455. Practice relaxation techniques. Try deep breathing, meditation, yoga, tai chi, or massage. Oh, I definitely need a massage. That is without a doubt. Practice relaxation techniques. So I do try to do that at times, but it don't help. I want to go to sleep. Keep a sense of humor. Yeah, there's some things you can laugh at, but then there's others you really can't. Like I said, when we're getting smoked in the military, for those of y'all who are my veterans, put a 1 in the chat. Like I said, I want you guys to realize that we did keep a sense of humor about things when we were getting smoked, especially when we knew we messed up. We knew we were going to laugh at it. And we laugh at it now. Spend time with family and friends. Well, can't really do that as much. I'm busy right now. Set aside time for hobbies, read a book, listen to music, or go for a walk. Schedule time for your passions. I do play Yu-Gi-Oh! On Saturdays. Even when I have school, I'll go on the afternoon tournament as opposed to the morning tournament. Write in a journal. This is something I really do need to do. Get enough sleep. I try. Eat a healthy, balanced diet. I try that too. Stay away from tobacco, alcohol use, and the use of illegal substances. I definitely do that. I don't drink, but 11 times a year, you've heard me say it, and it is absolutely true. Aim to find active ways to manage your stress. Idle ways to manage stress that don't get you moving may seem relaxing, but they may make your stress go up over time. Examples are watching television, going on the internet, or playing video games. I tend to disagree with the video game part because I love playing video games, and it doesn't stress me out because I'll play games that I'm quite good at. When to ask for help. If you're not sure if stress is the cause or if you're taking steps to control your stress, but you keep having symptoms, see your healthcare provider. So if you notice that you're having chest pains and they haven't been resolved, no matter what you try, go see the doctor without question. As a matter of fact, I'm overdue for a checkup. I'm probably going to see if I can get in there over the next couple of days. If not, I'm going to schedule a day and make it happen. So, here is the deal. The deal is, in order for you to understand what level of stress you're under, and you have to appreciate where you are in space. And when I say where you are in space, I don't mean outer space. I mean in the space that you reside in the space that you exist in. Right now, we are in a very stressful time. We're in a very stressful time. Some people want to vote for one person. Other people want to vote for another person. And the other side is all stressed out wondering, why do you want to vote for that person? I don't agree with them. I don't agree with their policies. I dislike them. Whatever the situation may be, that's what's happening. Now, those of you who know me know who I'm talking about. But I also know you, and I know who you're talking about. And one of the things that I want y'all to understand and really think about when it comes to this stress game is maybe, just maybe, this is how they want us. Whomever it is. Whatever side you want to be on that fence, be my guest. But at the end of the day, who's trying to stress you out? Who's trying to confuse you? Who's trying to put you in a position to where you can't know up from down? You don't know the truth from a lie. You don't know the lie from a truth. You don't know who to believe. Who puts you in that state of flux? Who puts you in that state of being? And when you realize who that is, you already know what to do. Now, that's about as political as I'm going to get. But when it comes to this stress, you have to identify where the stress is coming from. It could be at home. It could be at work. It could be family, as in family that doesn't live in your home. Shoot, it could be family that lives in your home. And dealing with that level of stress may not be the best thing for you, and you might have to remove yourself from it. I know some people that have, and my hat's off is to them. I'm not mad at them at all. Not even a little bit. The deal is, when you see that your health is being affected by whatever is stressing you out, it's time for you to go. Plain and simple. If your husband is stressing you out, and recognize maybe it's your response to your husband that's stressing you out. Maybe your husband's not stressing you out at all. Maybe your wife isn't stressing you out at all. Maybe it's your response to your wife or your husband that's stressing you out. But what I'm talking about is, if your wife or your husband is stressing you out with foolishness after foolishness after foolishness, it's time for you to go. Cut it loose. It is not worth the time nor the effort of trying to maintain something that is killing you. Go read Stephen A. Smith's book. I promise you. I know I talk about it a lot, but I promise you, when you read the first 6 pages of that book, you're going to want to throw it across the room. You're going to want to throw it across the room. And it's ongoing. And you could see that Stephen A.'s mom's last remaining years on this earth, while they were as stress-free as humanly possible, the stress that she lived over decades took its toll on her. I tell you that now. I can see it for other people that in my life that I cared about that went through those similar things. I promise you, you do not want stress taking a toll on you. You do not allow stress to get you. It's also what we in the Black community call a trauma bond, trauma response. We all have it. A particular set of stresses, a particular set of trauma. And we all link up with it. And we all, as a matter of fact, we all try to find a sense of humor in it. It's sometimes why reactions are over the top when we are stressed. But I'm here to tell you, we have to maintain composure. Our grandparents did. Our great-grandparents did. Those of y'all who are younger than I am. They did it all the time. And it was not indignant of them to do so. They weren't kowtowing. They weren't bending at the will of who is in front of them. They were standing up and being better than those in front of them. I want you to understand that better angels prevailed. We had to be smart, we had to be intelligent, and we also had to know how to pick our battles and how to respond to those battles. I know it seems, cliche, but you got to chill. You got to find yourself a place to go and get yourself together. Sometimes you come in hot and you get sent out. I've had times where my colleagues have sent me out of a room because I was getting hot. And rather than do or say something stupid, they'd rather me leave the room. And you know what? At first you don't want to, because you want to stand up to the stress. You want to fight the stress. But at the same time, cooler heads prevail, and you realize you weren't winning that fight. No matter how much you thought you would win that fight, even if you won the so-called fight, you still lost. And you don't want to lose. Even when, let's say somebody says you got punked. Technically, you might not have gotten punked. The truth is, you might have been smart. Somebody might be setting you up for something way worse. It could be setting you up to lose your job. It could be setting you up for charges. It could be setting you up to be harmed. But if you allow that stress to overcome you and overwhelm you to such a degree where you are no longer in control of who you are and what you do, I promise you, it never ends well. So I'm going to land this plane because we're about 40 minutes in. I'm hungry and I want to chill and play some Madden. So here's the deal. You guys, when you are dealing with stress, some people, their hair falls out. Sometimes their skin breaks out. Sometimes, like I said, headaches, grumpy, sarcastic, angry, vengeful. All of these attitudes and mindsets are things that will come up. But at the same time, you have to be better. Do not avoid good stress. Put yourself into it. Get used to it. Enjoy it as best as you can. Accept the challenge of physical growth in stress. But do not let it live with you. Because if you let it live with you, it'll eat your food, eat all your snacks, put its feet up, and it will never leave until the day you die. And that way you will not be the best you. Guys, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching. Go ahead and give me a like if you can, if you've made it this far. But otherwise, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is Stoutt.